right, yes. You see my reviews for PlayStation VR2 and the Meta Quest 3. Links in the description and the pinned comment if you haven't. Now it's time to have both devices go head to head in a versus battle. A direct comparisons war to the death, or at least until the end of the video. First things first, ChatGPT help a brother out. The Meta Quest and the Sony PlayStation VR2 represent the latest achievements in VR technology. Yes, I'm reading direct from notes. Each offering immersive gaming experiences with high resolution displays, advanced tracking capabilities, and robust game libraries. While the Quest 3 is a standalone device emphasizing portability and mixed reality experiences, PlayStation VR integrates closely with the PlayStation 5, offering unique features like haptic feedback and eye tracking, setting a new standard for console-based VR gaming. Quest 3 at time of typing though, at base model even, costs a £453 or $500 US. PlayStation VR 2, not including the PlayStation 5 console, which is cheaper than the VR device itself, if you can believe that, reaches at £529, which is roughly $550, he says while looking at his notes. Let's VR fight, or rather fight! So the PlayStation VR 2 is tethered, aka wired. You can't pull out the cable, you're stuck with it. Quest 3 devices, since the first one, are able to be wired or wireless. Take your pick. Portability, Quest 3 wins there. And the Quest 3 lasts about 2 hours wireless without an external USB-C battery attached to it, that's for sure. No such problems obviously with the PlayStation VR 2, but of course you're wired. I don't know, I guess in this case it's a win for the PlayStation VR 2 there. Don't have to worry about headset battery. Quest 3 controllers use AA batteries. As you can see here, PlayStation VR uses an internal battery. PlayStation VR 2 I should say specifically. Thus you can game way longer if you have rechargeable batteries, and that's the play here with the Quest 3 controllers than you can with the PlayStation VR 2 controllers, which need to be in a dock or a dock station, charging station or something. Or you can buy another one, I suppose that's more money again. So this is cheaper when it comes to going longer. This one requires more investment, or very disciplined gaming lasting about 4.5 hours. On a full charge, takes about 90 minutes to charge. So yeah, Quest 3 wins there. So the PlayStation VR 2 has eye tracking, which allows you to have a more immersive experience, like NPCs being able to track if your eyes are looking at them or not when they're talking to you, to make sure you're disciplined and loyal male or female. It also uses this feature to improve performance by prioritizing rendering where you're looking and not just where you're facing. This technique is called foveated rendering. Quest 3 doesn't have any of this. Of course, in the case of immersion techniques with eye tracking, developers still have to implement it. And thus far, there isn't enough experiences necessarily to justify buying the PlayStation VR 2 just for eye tracking alone in terms of immersive experiences. But for performance and so forth, as an option, PlayStation VR 2 wins there. PlayStation VR 2 also has vibration on the headset. I like things that vibrate, I don't know about you guys. Again, something the Quest 3, 2 and 1 do not have, but also again something developers have to implement, otherwise it might as well not exist. And you know how it is with Sony stuff. A lot of times the unique stuff are just not implemented, but it's there, so another win for PlayStation VR 2. Okay, apparently mistakes were made. I deleted this part, so I have to do it again after the fact, hence my makeup might be a little bit off. Wish I'd have done something about this. The Quest 3, as this one, has full color pass-through, whereas the PlayStation VR 2 is restricted to black and white only. In addition to the full color pass-through that the Quest 3 sports, it also has the ability to do mixed reality or augmented reality apps and games, which is very cool, whether it be the piano vision thing where you can play with your piano in real life, or use a virtual thing. It's almost like Beat Saber with piano, and you can apparently learn. It's apparently pretty good. I still haven't run it yet. Need to run some tests and some videos on that on the channel. Or Assassin's Creed Nexus VR is a great example where you're mixed in with this kind of 3D puzzle thing. You have to kind of look around and move these pieces into place, and then you're back into the normal VR mode, so it mixes the two, and it's obviously not possible with something like the PlayStation VR 2. It doesn't have that. So that's another punch in the balls, or kick in the balls, to the PlayStation VR by the Quest 3. On top of that, Quest 3, with its PC compatibility, just has a crazy library. Even without the backward compatibility, you just have pretty much anything that's on your PC now that's Unreal Engine 4 or 5 with the mod can be used with this thing. On top of just anything you can buy that says VR is compatible with the Meta Quest 3 and 2 actually, really. So, you know, compatibility-wise and library is crazy. This one can't compare in comparison in that aspect, and therefore the Quest wins there as well. So another punch in the face, and then a drop kick to the knees, and then a kick in the face afterwards by the Quest 3. Alright, got it fixed now, I can go eat dinner. Oh yeah, as an addendum, this does not only require the PS5 console, but it can't work without it, so that's another kind of minus. compared to the flexibility and library of this beast, right? PlayStation VR2 is not backwards compatible with PlayStation VR1, like the Quest is with all of the Quest library. None of the peripherals from PlayStation VR1 do work either, but then I suppose it's the same with the Quest 3, so that doesn't really make a difference. Quest 3 is definitely at more risk of upgrading previous experiences. Obviously, when you use games that was for Quest 2 or Quest 1, you will get benefits just in the lenses alone, and things like Asgard 2 is going to get Quest 3 upgrade soon enough if it hasn't happened already. On top of this, because it runs on the PC, obviously you're only limited by the hardware of your PC more than the device itself on its own. The punch knocks out the PlayStation VR 2 from the Quest 3 right there. I'd also say commitment wise, the Quest 3 feels more comfortable in terms of, investment and so forth. Meta are definitely heavily invested in VR and AR. I think they've spent billions of dollars on it already easily. And in fact, they spent like billions of dollars just getting GPUs to do this stuff from Nvidia. And Nvidia are very happy about that. Sony are definitely in the race, but the lack of studio investment for making VR exclusive games at the moment, or PlayStation VR 2 exclusive games, and lack of sequels, and the lack of backward compatibility makes this a concern. So yeah, the Quest 3 wins there as well. Another difference is between the people who like and subscribe from a video being exponentially higher when you ask. So thanks. Also, check out justvrgaming.shop. That's another thing people do exponentially higher when you ask them, apparently. Especially when watching videos like this. Quest 3, in addition to PC compatibility, has library boosting mods like UE VR, or is it UE2 VR? Anyway, this thing makes Unreal Engine 4 and 5 games compatible with devices like the Quest 3. That's like something like 11,000 or 10,000 games, I think it was. That's crazy. That's definitely a win for the Quest 3. I almost said PlayStation VR 2. It's definitely a win for the Quest 3. That's a big drop kick. I'm getting tethered by the wire trying to keep out. Damn it. Quest 3 is cheaper as well, especially if you already own a capable PC for PC VR stuff. And that's optional because you can just use a device. So it definitely wins in terms of cost as well. You don't need a console, for instance. So that's another punch and drop kick in the balls there. However, coming back, PlayStation VR 2 has those OLED lenses, and those OLED lenses are HDR. That means the colors will look more vivid and it will just look nicer on the eyes. The coloring, the plushness, the full whites and full blacks. Wait, it sounds like something else. Well, you know what I'm saying. It wins in terms of color with those HDR OLED lenses, so that's a drop kick, punch in the face from PlayStation VR 2 for that one. Better visual fidelity, yeah. Now, the Quest 3 has a newer version of the Snapdragon GPU from Qualcomm, I think it's believed. Sounds like eggs, like fish eggs. Better graphics engine means better graphics and performance, I guess, and thus better software level graphical capabilities. So the Quest 3 wins there, at least in the hardware part. Now, Sony's history though with audio and headphones should speak for itself. And with that in mind, it's no surprise that with the Tempest 3D, it gives better audio out of the device itself. For raw audio and 3D, Sony are the masters when it comes to that. So PlayStation VR 2 wins on that one. Headset sweating wise, especially with the material that defaults with the Quest 3, I think it's more capable and culpable of sweatness. It's a nice material, but a sweaty material. It's kind of like a cloth almost. Whereas the PlayStation VR 2 has this kind of rubbery, maybe less premium, but more sweat friendly. I don't know. I think generally as well, the fans seem to work a little bit better in this device to keeping you cooler versus the Quest 3. So PlayStation VR 2 wins for coolness and sweat friendliness. Okay, so storage comparisons are kind of weird when it comes to the PlayStation VR 2 and the Quest 3, because this one has an internal storage, obviously because you can use it portably. This one doesn't. But effectively, your space is dictated by what you have on your PlayStation 5 console when it comes to PlayStation VR 2, and then it can be either your PC or the device itself, depending on what you're playing and how you're playing it when it comes to the Quest 3. So I guess they don't really beat each other because they're different, but it's worth noting the differences there. 128 gigabytes by default, 100 extra pounds or dollars for the 512 gigabyte version, and then you're just limited by what you can stick on your hard drive on the PlayStation 5 variable. The Quest 3 has hand tracking and the PlayStation VR 2 doesn't. Hand tracking is dope, so definitely a drop kick into the butt from Meta Quest 3 there on that front. And also, obviously, the Quest 3 has work, productivity, fitness, meditation, Zen, and mixed reality apps. I mean, whatever capabilities, there's loads of capabilities. PlayStation VR 2, for better or worse, is focused on gaming, and maybe in some cases it might do gaming things a little bit better because of that. This has much more flexibility, so I guess the Quest 3 wins in the flex. So even though I put this point together previously, it really was separate. So I just want to emphasize again that this device has HDR in the lens and everything else. This one doesn't. And that's because this one is a pancake lens. This one isn't. Pancake lenses don't like HDR, can't do HDR, and thus this one uses Fresnel lens, hence HDR. But apparently pancake lens is otherwise better. So Google it if you want to know more about that outside of the HDR part. So they kind of equally punch each other in the face there, and they both got a black eye on either eye. Also, I don't know what a big deal it is or not, but it depends what you like, I suppose. PlayStation VR2 controller uses the classic ring style design on the controller, whereas the the Quest 3 is ringless now. So I don't know, you guys tell me in the comments which one you prefer, but that's like, I don't know, preference. I guess this one's more bulky because of that, so maybe this one wins because of that. I don't know. What do you think? And the winner in the blue corner or white corner, I don't know who the winner is. You guys will have to decide, because I think you should check out the videos that I made for reviews for each of these, which might give you an idea which one's better in my estimation as I score both of them. However, because I know people are going to ask me, if I had to pick one of them, especially if I had a capable PC already as I do, I'd likely go with the Quest 3. Just for the sheer flexibility, the support that is more assured, the extensive library with the backward compatibility and so forth. However, if you already own a PlayStation 5, then getting the PlayStation VR2 exclusively or in addition to the Quest 3 might be more of the play. Both devices have a healthy library, and Sony's machine does seem to be supported as much, if not in the exclusive sense. If you're just looking alternative option for a VR game to play, if a review says it looks better on this one, you could go with this one or so forth, that kind of luxury. So there's enough there that the parity is there when it's non-exclusive. Albeit it seems sometimes the PlayStation VR2 ones come out a little bit later than the Quest one, at least in some games here and there, but maybe that's not the case anymore. Maybe that's not a thing to really think about or worry about. Advancements in terms of HDR can make the colors better for certain games and certain experiences in this one, and the extra immersion with the features and so forth, if developers implement them, like the vibration on the head, giving you a nice pound to your head if you get shot at. The eye tracking, definitely underutilized in games. So, because again, if they do the eye tracking and they have to make it so that they check whether it's on this device or this device, whereas most other things they probably just make it so that it just ports to every one of them easily. So it might not be supported enough to justify just buying for the unique features of PlayStation VR2 alone in that sense though as well. So in an ideal world, I would say both devices obviously, because then you get to pick and choose and you don't miss out on anything like the amazing Asgard series obviously, or Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, Piano Vision, you know, there's like so many cool stuff on both devices. It sucks to miss out on them, you know. One of you guys were lamenting that it sucks that you can't play the Resident Evil 4 remake VR because you don't have this device, so you don't have a PlayStation full stop. So, you know, you have to weigh up all the costs and so forth. On the screen now, those reviews I mentioned that will help you make a decision if you have to pick one or if you're going to pick up both. Remember to use the links, and the Amazon links cost you no extra. And check out the stuff in the description and the pinned comment for more awesome gamingness. That is the VR at just VR gaming. Right. No, wait there.